Beagle!
No, Bear Conger!
No, Gango!
I see you kids are still arguing about what monster I need to cover.
Professor, this class is going to be about an Ultraman Kaiju, right?
No, a Kaijin. It's gotta be about a Kamen Rider Kaijin.
Well, sorry, Pencil Leopard, but not today.
Aww.
Yes, cuteness wins again!
But I'm not doing a Kaiju bio either.
What?
Today we'll be looking at the history not of an Ultraman Kaiju and not of a Kamen Rider Kaijin, but of both.
Ooh la la!
In 1993, Tsuburaya Productions, the creators of Ultraman, got together with another one of the big three T's of tokusatsu, Toei Company, the studio behind the Kamen Rider series, to produce a special to celebrate Ultraman's 25th anniversary, along with the Kamen Rider series' 20th. And that special was Ultraman vs. Kamen Rider. Yep, that's right, a collaboration that pit the two greatest tokusatsu heroes against each other. This was a big deal. The name is a bit misleading, however, because the meat of the special is just narrated segments showing stock footage of the history of the two Toku icons, and a few interviews with famous people associated with the franchises. The implied fight between the first Ultra Hero and Kamen Rider 1 does take place as the end of the special approaches, but only a few brief shots are shown, and it ends on a cliffhanger with Ultraman firing his Spacium Ray and Kamen Rider 1 performing his Rider Kick. Very exciting, but disappointingly short. But what's this? That was just the title screen? The true crossover between Ultraman and Kamen Rider is just getting started? That's right, folks. The special ends with a newly filmed mini-episode of Ultraman and Kamen Rider teaming up to take on several monsters, namely Gadoras the Kaiju, Doku Sasori Otoko, which means Poison Scorpion Man, the Shocker Kaijin, and Sasori Gadoras, a hybrid monster created by combining the other two. We're going to be looking at all three monsters today. Let's start with some behind-the-scenes info. Katsuro Onoue has been credited with story composition for the short film, so he may be the creator of the three monsters. Hiroshi Butuda did the storyboard. All of the creatures were designed by Osamu Yamaguchi, the artist responsible for designing almost every kaiju in Ultraman 80, and the costumes were modeled by Rainbow Zoke, who created suits for Toei for Kamen Rider and Super Sentai, and Kaimai Productions, the company founded by Eizo Kaimai, the man who modeled the original Godzilla suit. The suit actor for all three monsters was Takeshi Miyazaki. Gadoras' roars were reused from Takong, while Sasori Gadoras' cries are definitely repurposed Zeton noises. Trust me, as someone who's made an hour-long video about the complete history of Zeton, I know. I unfortunately couldn't determine the origin of any of the monsters' names, except for Poison Scorpion Man, of course. Interestingly, in the original Kamen Rider, there exists a Shocker Kaijin just called Scorpion Man, so this must be a step up from that. Alright, I think we're ready to look at some in-universe history now. Let's Rider Kick our way in and watch this big fight. I didn't mention this earlier, but there's a chance that this entire little short is supposed to be the imagination of several kids playing with Ultraman and Kamen Rider toys. Even if not, it almost certainly takes place in a separate continuity from the main Ultraman and Kamen Rider canons. Anyway, just as Shocker unleashed a brand new cyborg to reduce Tokyo to rubble, Poison Scorpion Man, the Kaiju Gadoras suddenly awoke for some reason and emerged from the ground in the heart of Japan's capital city. It ambled through the city, causing significant destruction, as Poison Scorpion Man simultaneously began attacking unsuspecting inhabitants of the city down below. Shin Hayata transformed into Ultraman, and Takeshi Hongo became Kamen Rider 1, and the two raced toward Tokyo. Ultraman arrived first and took on Gadoras. The bulky monster proved to be somewhat difficult to handle, but Ultraman was able to land a strong chop and a kick to the Kaiju's eye, followed by a blast of his signature Spacium Beam, which severely weakened the monster. Meanwhile, down below, Kamen Rider 1 battled Poison Scorpion Man. The Kaijin was quite agile, and took hold of the rider and shot out a cloud of mist that was poisonous, I assume. But Kamen Rider 1 was unfazed and leapt atop a building, the perfect spot to initiate a Rider Kick, which he did. It looked like it was over for the two villains, but suddenly both Gadoras and Poison Scorpion Man were surrounded by a mysterious electric pulse, which somehow fused the two of them together into Sasori Gadoras, to Ultraman and Kamen Rider 1's shock. Two unrelated monsters combining together? That's against the rules! Well, actually it's not. Bruh. Since the hybrid monster was just as enormous as normal Gadoras had been, Kamen Rider 1 had to sit out the fight at first. Ultraman attempted to fire his Spacium Ray at the menace, but it simply absorbed the powerful beam into its stomach and fired blasts of electricity at the Ultra Hero, followed by some kind of pulse which caused buildings all around the area to crumble. Ultraman was in deep trouble, so Kamen Rider 1 jumped on the Cyclone and... Wait, what are you gonna do, Kamen Rider? You do know you're way too small to help out, right? He's speeding toward them! What's gotten into him? There goes the I warned... Oh, good. Well, you survived, but I still don't... He drove right through the monster's head? What? And what now? He's growing massive! That's right. Somehow, using some trick he never revealed he could do in his home series, Takeshi Hongo became as big as Ultraman to give his fellow hero a hand. Sasori Gadoras wasn't throwing in the towel, though. He fired another blast of electricity which Ultraman blocked by creating a barrier. Then, Kamen Rider leaped over the force field and punched the monster's large horn, shattering it. The monster still had weapons, though, and rammed the rider with its pointed tail. But Ultraman had a solution for that. He used a catch ring Cheerio to slice up the creature's tail. The Rider and Ultra moved in for some close-quarters combat, and now Sasori Gadoras seemed utterly helpless. Together, the heroes hoisted the heavy monster up and tossed it a short distance. As Ultraman's color timer started blinking, he nodded to Kamen Rider 1 that the time had come to finish the monster off. The Ultra fired his Spacium Ray just as Kamen Rider delivered a Rider kick to the head of the creature. And that was that. The two heroes who had won the day performed the customary action of shaking hands, and the legendary short film came to an end. Can we ever expect to see Gadoras, Poison Scorpion Man, or Sasori Gadoras again? Well, due to legal complications, probably the only chance they'd ever return is if Ultraman and Kamen Rider had another crossover. And even then it's not likely, since Tsuburaya and Toei would likely want to give the two heroes a new threat to take on. However, I continue to hope that at least someday figures of the monsters will be released. Oh wait, some already were! In 2014, Bandai put out several little HG Gashapon figures based on Ultraman vs. Kamen Rider, and figures of the Kaiju, Kaijin, and Kaiju/Kaijin were included. I actually ordered several of these figures for my collection prior to making this class so I could show them to you students, but they sadly didn't arrive in time to make it into the video, so hopefully I can work them into a future class. It'd be awesome if we could get some larger versions of these monsters someday, but considering how obscure these monsters for some reason are, having some Gashapon versions is quite nice. Alright, now for the part of the video where I start plugging stuff while evilly still leaving you hanging in suspense about how the video will end to force you to sit through the ads. Hehehe. If you're enjoying this video, please consider supporting the channel. Liking, subscribing, watching my other videos, and commenting are awesome free ways to help me out. And you can also follow me on Twitter to stay up to date on upcoming videos. Purchasing Toku figures from my eBay store also helps me out a ton. Thanks so much for all of your past support, by the way, and for helping me reach 10,000 subscribers. We're definitely going to have to celebrate this milestone with a big video, so stay tuned. So, Kashimu-kun and Pencil Leopard, did this class satisfy you both?
You bet.
Thanks so much, Professor.
Hey, what's with all the love going exclusively to these chumps? We need a Seijin bio on this channel.
Oh, well, I'd like to, Scrape Seijin.
No, too many villains. We need another hero bio.
That too, Yellow Chipmunk, but...
You're all wrong. We need a giant robot bio.
No, we've already established we're sticking with Kaijin from now on.
No, only Kaiju. Kaiju forever.
You
Kaijin
guys
are the best.
Hey, I've got an idea. How about the professor just stops covering tokusatsu stuff and covers anime characters instead? Huh?
Get him!
Hey, wait, what'd I say? Hey, come on, guys. We're all animated around here after all, aren't we?
Don't remind us.